Okay, so today I'm going to be replacing the switch on our hairdryer. Uh, this thing had been going out for a while. As soon as you put it on to low, it wouldn't work. It would only work on high. Then after a while, nothing had worked. Figured it was just hopefully dirty contacts. But once I pulled it apart, I was like, okay, cleaned up the contacts when I saw that burnt one, and then realized that it's actually worn out and broken plastic. I don't know if you can see this here. All of this. The actual plastic pieces are worn out and broken off. So I've got the new switch. And the funny thing is, I went to order one of these off of Amazon and they wanted $31 for a switch. So I went to AliExpress, and for the same make and model, it cost me $3. So this is the one that we're going to be putting into the hairdryer, and hopefully it works. As you can tell, there was quite a bit of gooch in there that I've already pulled out, so hopefully that's going to help it work a little bit better when the switch is actually in. I have to give that to the gauge collector. So with these toggle switches, there's 3 different settings, so off, low, and high. When it's off, there should be no continuity between any of the pins. Low should be continuity between this pin and not this pin. And on high, it should be all 3 pins having continuity. I have my multimeter set in continuity mode right now, so it beeps. And this one here is the old broken switch. So as you can tell, in the off position, there's nothing. I am getting continuity through the leads. Now when I put it to low, should have continuity on this pin, and there's nothing. And that's because of how worn out the plastic pieces were. It's not connecting anymore to the contacts and pushing them together. So there's nothing on low. When I put it on high, I have continuity on both pins. As you can see with the new switch here, off position, no continuity between anything. Low position, should have continuity here and not here. And we do. High should be continuity between all 3 pins. Okay, so you know that switch is good. So that's what we're going to be replacing in here. Now to solder in the new switch, the black cable here that comes from the power cord will be going to the top leg. The red and white wires will be going to the left side leg for the low fan, and the blue wire will be going to the right hand leg for the high fan. I'm thinking probably the easiest way to do this be to put this in here first and try and get, yeah, I want to try and get this seated in here before I start soldering the light from the power cable in. So, okay, that's seems to be popped in there. Okay, yeah, that should be enough to at least hold it into position. My soldering iron, I've got it set at 320 right now. Should be enough. I don't want to overheat this switch and start melting the plastic, so add a little bit of heat to the leg and the wire. See if the Solder starts melting on there. I might need a little bit more heat on this. Looks like it's probably going to be alright. And luckily there's enough flux inside the solder that I'm using right now that I don't have to use extra, because I don't want to be getting a lot of flux inside of the switch. One thing I'll have to check is to make sure that this is going to fit back in now. And okay, that fits. And does the switch fit back in properly? Nope. So this wire is going to have to come down more because now this isn't working properly. Just give me 1 second. So move this out of the way. I'll heat back up here. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to use a little bit more heat. Oh, there we go. Got that out. Just gonna put this off to the side for a sec. Yeah, I'm gonna have to retin that a little bit. I don't like how gnarly that looks, so try melting some of this solder back down. Make that a little bit nicer. There we go. It's a little bit better. I can feel this wire heating up already. I don't want to overheat anything. Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully the hole's still open enough. Nope. Just take a little bit of... Let's heat this up a bit. Okay. Yeah, this is where I need a third hand. Try and hold my solder wick here. See if I can do this all in one shot. Get that heated up. Try and suck the solder out. Yeah, this is a little difficult to do. Just one hand. Should be enough to hold it. I've got quite a lot of solder in there. Alright, I'm going to try and use the solder sucker to get this out of here. There we go. And that worked perfectly. Love this solder sucker. Works great. Okay, we're going to try this again. I'll see if I can get it a little closer and tighter. So, bring this in here. Hold that up as tight as I possibly can without dropping everything. Hopefully there's still enough solder left on here just to tack it in. Heat her up. Okay, that's good enough for a tack. She moved. Okay, hopefully that's in there far enough. Trying to get this pushed back in now. Make sure that the switch actually moves. Okay, that's good. I'll heat it up again. Make sure it's got a nice good solid solder joint. Oh, that's more. Okay. Now we can see if this is going to fit in. Yeah, there we go. So switch still operates. This still fits back into place. So now we'll take the white and red wires. Maybe what I'll do first is solder the two of them together. Just give it a quick little tap here. These are small enough that they'll still be able to fit in. Yep, that'll be a lot easier. So now, we put these into here. Tap my tip. We should be able to get this tacked in. They're moving on me. Gotta remember to hold both of them at the same time. Okay, that's tacked in. Cool for a sec. No. Oops. Yeah, I've definitely got to find something different for doing my clamping. Okay. So heat this up. Solder in. Let it down. Okay. Let that cool for a sec. They look like they're in. Now bring the blue wire. Put that in there. Luckily the wires are short enough that they're not going to touch each other once everything's done. So we'll heat this up. I should be using a smaller tip for this, but that's what I have on right now. Okay, those are all solid. Pop this in here, make sure everything will fit in. Yep, switch works. Okay, now make sure that the switch is turned off. Now this part here is extremely dangerous. Oops. I say as I drop it. Let me zoom out a bit. So now I'm going to be actually plugging it into the AC. The most dangerous thing right now is when I do plug it in, I'm going to be having 120 volts live AC coming through all of these points. It's going to be coming through here, and once the switch is on low, it'll be coming through here and here, and when it's on high, all three of these legs will be having 120 volts coming through it. I really don't feel like zapping myself, so I'm going to be very careful with this. Okay, the power is connected now. Just going to hold this down with my plastic spudger. And now the test. Put it on to low. Lovely. Let me zoom back out. And you'll be able to see. Now working again. That's a lot of sparkling I'm seeing coming out of this. I don't know if you guys can see that. And that doesn't look good. I've got smoke coming out from the motor. I'm really hoping this switch isn't doing damage to that motor. I don't know if you can see the smoke coming out of here, but right now I'm going to unplug it so I don't zap myself. And well, that was putting the switch back in. The switch actually works, but now I have to figure out why it's smoking so badly out of the motor. So after I'd gotten everything back together and tried it out, and you saw what happened, everything started smoking. Didn't know what I did wrong, and I was on live stream for Ace Console Repairs, and I started talking about what had happened. And as soon as I had mentioned it, I was yeah, it was Charles Mott and Dreams, both of them at the same time, asked if I had the entire thing put back together when I tested it, and I said no, I still had the back off. And looks like that's what happened. I overheated everything because it didn't have enough airflow. I thought having it just like this would be enough, but unfortunately not. So lesson learned, it's pretty much dead now. All that because I tried changing a switch. So I'll remember that for next time. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.